It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining the conversation. So let's jump back in. If you're a woman who games, you might know that feeling of being too afraid to even use your microphone in a game. Or maybe you've experienced outright hostility and seen a lot of sexism in gaming groups and forums, sometimes even represented in games. The gaming scene and community has been notoriously hostile towards women. And joining us today to chat about this experience, some of their first-hand experiences in this space, we've got a wonderful panel, and we are going to be speaking to some gamers who are hosting a tournament just for women and femme gamers in their effort to advocate for women in gaming. So a big welcome to Rushka Samuels, or Rushka GG, Adam Thomas James, and of course Jess Hines, we know really, really well. Almost called you the other name. Almost, eh? You must be doing it every once in a while. This tournament is amazing. I love the notion of safe places, whether that's a digital representation of such, because those are probably the places we need to police more clearly, because we just don't understand that fully. And the notion of development is wonderful underpinning that. But let's start with just women enjoying basic freedom and basic human rights, i.e. being able to join a community without facing abuse. Rushka, turn my hair even whiter than it's going right now. What are some of the instances where you've really felt the sharp end of this pretty disgusting dynamic?
Harassment. We can start with that. You enter a Discord call, and the first thing someone says is, "It's a girl, it's a girl," and they just lose their mind because you're female.
Maybe they've never met one.
Maybe, perhaps they've discovered something new, and then it moves into the DMs, and then you need to start blocking people. So, as a woman in this space, you get used to blocking people all the time. This is everywhere. But
or just turning your microphone off, which is it's just horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. How much of this sits within the official construct? Do we talk about this within the gaming space, within the sporting sphere of that? Is this something that's being addressed? Or is this something that we quietly just put under the carpet because there isn't enough female representation to say, hey, this is wrong?
It is getting better. I can tell you that. As someone who's been gaming for a very long time, it is getting better, but there is still a long way to go. It doesn't mean it's okay. It's still, I mean, if you speak to so many, we went to Weinberg Girls the other day, and I had to talk to the girls there, and I asked how many of you play with your microphone on, and almost no one raised their hand. So it is getting better, but there's still a long way to go, and that does rely a lot on, to be honest, other men calling other men out, because they're not listening to us. We've been speaking about this for a while now. And men listen to other men. That's the reality of the situation.
Well, also, it turns into Lord of the Flies. And unfortunately, I've watched my son, for good and for bad, in very complex ways, enter into an all-male environment within school. And the changes are radical. It's radical. Some amazing, some what is going on here? And that's whenever guys get to, or groups of people, I know that. But for men specifically, and I suppose, Adam, this is like a maturation, a beautiful maturation, because you're a gamer and you should just be focused on gaming, man, and creating a sports construct. Why are you now involved in this polarizing debate? But you have to be, because that's where we're at right now. So how do you feel about this? Have you changed your perception of your own space? What has this kind of journey been like for you?
Well, for me as a gamer, I hate toxicity in any kind, but men really have to stick it up, because women of color, they have to deal with racism on top of misogyny. It's honestly, gaming, we know, can be a hostile place. So you really should do your part, and I know I do it all the time, to make it a fun, casual experience. I mean, you get the very competitive side, but you need to remember that there's someone behind the mouse. There's someone behind the screen every time, and you need to treat them like a human being. And normally, being exceptionally rude to them is not going to make them play better in a competitive environment. It's generally going to hinder them, as statistics have shown. So what you can do is try and stand up for women or anyone who's being marginalized. And I really think, as Jess said, we've seen a good progress even in the last 2 years. When we went to Weinberg Girls for that talk, it's where it starts. They've really trailblazed the way. Them and other women in the scene have made an opening for women to make it their own space, which is absolutely amazing to see.
No, completely. And we forget this is a mentorship space as well. And as much as you're speaking to a big community, it's a lot of one-on-one relationships. In that gaming space, there is a chain, a ladder that you're climbing. So as a man, you're teaching young men. As a woman, you're teaching young women through that space.
And if I can touch on what you're saying, which is, there's a point that I bring up a lot, and I get a lot of pushback on it. And as a parent myself, I completely understand, because we don't want to be blamed for these things.
Yeah.
But a lot of it rests on the parents' shoulders.
Yeah.
Because when you have something like soccer, the parents are super involved. They're playing with the kids. They're at tournaments. If their kid throws a fit on the field, they correct them. But when it comes to gaming, the kids go to their rooms and the doors are closed, and the parents don't know what they're talking about and who they're talking to and what side of TikTok they're on and what little Reddit groups and forums and things that they're on. And I'm telling the dads at home now specifically, you would be so disappointed if you ever sat next to your sons and heard how they speak to women online. And it really, the parents need to be a lot more involved and just monitor these situations, because they're not learning it from home. Like, dads aren't walking around calling their wives slurs.
No, but all you need is one older sibling or one older teenage boy in the mix, and things can go horribly wrong. I speak from personal experience. I absolutely do understand where you're going from, and I'm starting to see more threads tying together through this. But there is an opportunity, because I think we think it's just this other world but it's real. It's real. It's just a different representation of. We'd love to hear from you. If you are a female gamer, what has your experience been like? 063 408 8863. Drop us a voice note.